Hey, what's up guys? Today in this video, I'm going to look at Mixpanel, how to use it for basic analytics requirements. Because what has happened is recently I have been reading up a lot and trying to come up with a solution where we are able to provide a very complete solution in terms of analytics, user segment, and things for a customer. And that's when we generally read about Mixpanel and felt that this is a product which we can use. Again, this is our thought process based on some of the reading which we have done. And hence, right now, what I'm doing is with that assumption, I am trying to do certain things and validating whether Mixpanel is the correct fit or not. So there are quite a few things which I will be doing, and today I am just starting out with implementing Mixpanel inside a basic Next.js application. Okay, so what do we have in our code base right now? I have this basic Next.js application which fetches data from a Laravel based API. I'm calling it the market. It's a sample store application. I feel that a store is one place where we can do a lot of analytical R&D. Okay, so today let's start adding certain basic trackers to this store. So on Mixpanel, I have just read a few things and saw a few demos on YouTube and their own blog posts. With that basic knowledge, I'm trying to see what can be achieved. So I'm creating a project called the market. The data store is United States. The time zone is going to be important. And I do create. Now, you may encounter this kind of an issue, but don't stress about it. Just refresh. And ideally, you should get the project in place. Okay, so I have a clean dashboard. It says we don't have any data as of now, which is true because we have just created our project. The implementation starts in here. Let me show you. These are some of the ways we can implement Mixpanel, and the best thing is I can see that I can use JavaScript, Android, iOS. So I am generally able to tackle all the segment. Right now we are looking or focusing on JavaScript. So let's do that. So this Mixpanel has an NPM library, which is good thing because that's what we ideally would like to do. So why don't we first install this package into our application? Like so. And while this is happening, let's see what are the next steps. So they are doing init this particular thing, which means an instance of Mixpanel is created, and then I can see a track method is called, and I'm sending sign up. So this means that a sign up event must be tracked. So this seems quite straightforward. However, because I'm using TypeScript, I would like to see if I have the types available for Mixpanel browser, and that is going to be a dev dependency. So let me see. It is installing something, which means I will get that. And yes, I did. So this is good thing. Okay. Now inside my environment, I was initially trying to do Google Tag Manager, but then I decided to do it directly because I feel there are quite a few information which I will be sending to Mixpanel, and hence it makes sense to use the SDK rather than the tag manager because it can become a bit difficult later on to manage things. Okay. And we are going to use this as an environment variable because I would ideally like to have two projects, one local and one production, and the production will have the production key, whereas the local will have the other one. Okay. So my env is ready. Now, why don't we do one thing, which is obviously tag manager I don't want. So I'll just remove this. And this is the use effect hook. of the app component, what is going to happen is whenever the app is loaded, this use effect will get called. And what I'm trying to do over here is Mixpanel dot init. So token string process env. Let me copy the value. Okay. The init requires a string, so this can be null sometimes, and hence if it is there, then this, or else an empty string. And then there are certain configurations. If you would have seen, where is the documentation? It has debug equals true. So first of all, let's do debug equals true. And I have read some documentation, and I know that there's something called a disable DNT or DNT, something like ignore DNT. So what is going to happen is, in some browsers, if the tracking is disabled by default, right? For example, Brave has a lot of trackers being disabled. It will not be able to track my the tracking data, and hence for now I'm just ignoring it. I'll still want to track it. So let's see, with this in place, what I understand is, sorry, not this one, but rather here, only 3 tabs. That particular browser has a lot of things open. Okay, in here I should be able to see the tracker. Let's see. Okay, I have an env change, so I'll need to restart the application. Okay, hit refresh. And I still don't have anything over here, which is a bit odd, because what have we done over here? I have done just an init, sorry. Then I'll need to do track, and I'll add an event called PageView, like so. So now you can see the page view was triggered. If I hit refresh once more, okay, come on. Right. It is sending that request. The request is event page view, and this has some default properties. Interestingly, this is showing some error. I don't know why. Maybe it is the Brave thing. Let me copy this into maybe Firefox and then try, because trackers with Brave are really a bit problematic. I have personally seen that. So come over here. Okay, it still gives me the error, so maybe we can continue with it. Okay, so this is done. Now I have a basic tracker in place. In this page, nothing is going to happen because the use effect got already called, so there is no way for me to track that, which will mean that I'll need to do something like this even on my products page. So I'll come over here, use effect. Okay, with this in place, now I should be tracking the products page as well, which means if I close it, or rather clear it, come back. Okay, let's refresh. Should come. It may take a little bit of time sometimes. Mixpanel doesn't do it instantly, so wait for that. Okay, so our page view for this particular page is happening. So our current URL is localhost 3000, which is correct. And now let's try to go into the products page. And we have one more Mixpanel request, which is a page view. And let's see what are the properties. The property says the current URL is /products. So that's good news, because we are now able to track different page views on different pages. Yes, we are doing a lot of code in here on every page, which is something which we'll need to handle. But before that, Let's look at the data first. What are we getting over here in this events table? Okay, that is interesting. We have only one. It shouldn't have been the case. Let's just refresh. One more, one most recent. Okay, it might take a little bit of time. Let's wait for some time. And in the meantime, we will refactor our code a bit so that we are able to handle certain things in our application in terms of the tracking. So the first thing is, see, we are initializing it on the main page, the products page, and if you need to track on the slug, I mean on the product detail, we will have to do there as well, which is really not a scalable solution. We can't just do init everywhere. It is repeatable code. So what I'm thinking is, let's just create a service called Mixpanel. Okay, and this Mixpanel is going to be exposing a singleton class, and which will mean we will only init once, and then the same instance will be used for every event. So let's start export. Okay, it will have a private static variable called underscore instance of type Mixpanel tracking. This is the same class instance. Okay, this is what we are going to export, this class. Then we have a function which returns the instance of this class. Okay, and how does it do? It will do this dot instance. Okay, but if the instance is not already created, which means let's just say Mixpanel tracking dot this instance equals null, return Mixpanel dot underscore instance equals new Mixpanel. So this is the handling that we are doing. If we have a null, which means so far there is no instance of Mixpanel, which is this variable, right? Then we create an instance and we return it while asking for the instance. But if we already have that, then we will return that instance. And hence, what is going to happen is throughout the single page application behavior, the SPA behavior, the init is going to happen only once, right? So yeah, we are kind of doing a singleton over here. Now, if anyone tries to create an instance, we will have to stop him, right? So why don't we do if Mixpanel tracking dot underscore instance? Okay, if we have such an instance, then we need to stop it. So throw new error, and we should say error instance creation of Mixpanel tracking is not allowed, something like this. Use Mixpanel dot get instance instead, something like this. Okay, that's a big error message, but that's fine. It's an error. People should be able to understand if they by mistake do it. Okay, moving ahead. Hey, by the way, do we have the events now? Let's see, refresh. We still don't have them, which is a bit weird because I was expecting the products to be visible. What happened? Come on. Okay, it added two page views. One is products, other one is product as well. Okay, and I still don't see that, which is a bit weird. Okay, so I know that sometimes Mixpanel does take time, but I don't understand. Is it something which I'm missing, or actually the tracker is not working? Let me do one more thing. I have a feeling it's not working on my Brave browser. There were some trackers which I had installed. I mean, some how do you call that? Some extensions which I had installed, and they are screwing up things. So maybe that's the reason it is happening. Let's see. Come over here, refresh. Right, it is working now. So at least on Firefox it is working. But yes, this is something which I'll need to look at, because if it is not working on Brave, then it can be a problem for us. Because I don't know what is the percentage right now of Brave users, but it can increase later on, and I hope there is some workaround to handle Brave. Okay, but yeah, now we have the events, because you can see I have what /products, correct, /products. Let's try out a journey. I'm on the home page. Will it fire the tracker now? It did. Okay, page view, and then the second page view tracker added, and now if I hit refresh, so this 3 should become 5. Still doesn't happen. Hit the main refresh. I don't know, still not working. Let's wait out a bit, and in the meantime, okay, init, right? So inside init, I'm obviously using this. So actually I can copy this entire thing, isn't it? Right. So this is done. So the constructor is now creating an instance of Mixpanel. That is done. And then we have a method called track, which is used to track the page view. But what I am thinking is maybe create a function for each event which we want to track on Mixpanel. So first of all, do page viewed, and we will have a private method called track, maybe, or maybe a public method, not to worry. Track, the track will take name, which is a string, and data, which is object. By default it's empty. Okay, and Mixpanel dot track name data, and that's about it. So in here, this dot track name, like so, and I'm not passing the name. Oh, my bad, sorry. I know that this is going to be page view because the name is page view, correct? So this function is actually what is going to happen is every function is going to call this function. Now I can make it protected. Let's keep it protected for now. Okay, so the idea is, now if we remove everything from here, do Mixpanel tracking dot get instance, and then page viewed. As simple as that. Okay, it should work. Similarly, on the index page, just remove this. Mixpanel tracking, get instance, page viewed. That's it. Let's see if we are still able to get things properly. Say array, page viewed. Okay, let's refresh. Come on. Yeah. Okay, there are 2 instances. Why 2 instances? We'll have to see that. But first of all, am I getting those events? And yes, we do. So there were those 2 events after 3 minutes ago, and then these 2 events also got captured. So this is fine. So I go to this page, and then if I click documentation, I land up on this page, and the tracker is sent only once with the correct URL. So this is kind of working as it should. The only thing is it is doing a little bit of delay. So let's see if we can see one more page view. No, it's still taking time, I think. Okay, let it come. But what if we want to track something a little more? For example, if I click on a product, I want to trigger a page view, but I also want to trigger something called as product viewed. Okay, so let's see. But before we do that, why don't we, for the sake of understanding that things are working properly, event page view, like so. Okay, and then we have a product view, right? That's what we are working with. Public product viewed, and I'll send the product in here because we will be sending some information about the product while tracking. So let's see, what do we do? This is going to be this dot track. We'll do product slash viewed, and then we send the data where product ID is something like product dot ID, title or name, maybe not title but name. Okay, and because the analytics people may not recognize title, but name is something which is very common. Okay, so we may transform our data accordingly. And then there's price product dot, okay, price I haven't set, but I know that price is coming, so maybe inside the interface I'll do price not string. Okay, and then over here I'll do price. Fine, so this is the function which I need to call when I'm inside the product detail, right? That's quite easy. So use effect. This is like our component did mount, and then the straightforward thing is Mixpanel get instance, and then call the product viewed, and we pass the product because we are expecting some information to be sent to Mixpanel. Okay, so far so good. So page view, these are added, but then if I clear this and click on this particular thing, am I getting product view? So click over here, and yes, you can see we get the event as product viewed. Inside properties, I'm getting product ID, product name, and product price. Amazing. Let's see if we are able to even see the same thing inside our Mixpanel analytics. I hope this time it doesn't take too much time. And yeah, we have it. You can see we have a product view, product name, ID, price, quite a lot of things. So quickly I do this. Okay, unfortunately I'm not showing the price on my product details, which is a very bad thing to do. But then what do we have in here? We have 9,000. Okay, and let's say what do we want to do over here is look at all the events, but then filter by show hidden properties. No, event name is product viewed. Let's add that. Okay, so we have 3 product views. That's nice, but can we add custom properties? Event properties, all properties, user properties. What do we have in event properties? No. User properties, first scene. That's also not something which we are looking at. Fair enough. Yeah. So I'm getting this information as well. So my idea is that I should be able to kind of create reports based on this custom properties as well. Let's see if that happens in my future video. But one thing which I want to additionally do is a little bit of refactoring over here, which is, let's say, inside Mixpanel. I'm just keeping this later on. We can, delete everything, all the consoles. But there is a button. Let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, add to cart. Okay. And what I am saying is, when I am on page, and if someone clicks on this button, I want to track it. Fine. That's quite easy. Why don't we do something like this? We duplicate something. It's called what? Pop-up added to cart, something like this. Okay. And then this added to cart. And the information is still the same because we want to see which products got added to the cart the most. Okay. And maybe then we want to run a separate kind of a filter or report which gives us that how many products, which products were viewed the most and then added to the cart the most, and which one were purchased the most, or things like that. So for these kind of differentiations, we can do this. So we have a function over here. Now, in this button, what I will do is on click again. This is an anonymous function, not the best way to do, but I'm taking a shortcut right now. Mixpanel dot added to cart, and I send the product. Okay. And with this in place, my understanding is that if I clear this add to cart, it does send the event which says added to cart, properties. Inside the property, I have the product name. Correct? So this coffee was added to cart once by a user. Does that reflect inside our events? Okay, so far I don't see the product added to cart. I hope it gets added. Less than a minute. Product view is here. And this is the same coffee, but I don't see the added to cart. Maybe it will get added in some time. In the meantime, why don't I also go ahead and add this watch to my cart? Add it to cart. And then it got added. So now it's up to Mixpanel to quickly show us the event. And while it is doing, will it? Yes, it did. So 1 and 2. This one should have been the coffee. Yes. And this is the watch. Okay. I'm making a lot of purchases. Not the good thing to do right now. Let's focus on what we were doing. So I think we have generally covered things. The only last piece of refactoring which I can see is, see this. Can you see this pattern where I'm sending the same information again and again? Why don't we first of all do something like protected product details. Like so. And what it will do is just return this. So tomorrow, if I want to track something else as well, I just need to add it in one function. Obviously, I need to send the product. I will do that. So product view got changed. And so is added to cart. Correct? This is done. And then one more small little dx is, these are strings. but it will be good if we can do an enum out of it. Okay, so enums, and inside enums, let's just do tracking events.enum.ts. I don't know if this is the best convention to follow, but yeah, at least this is what I do and my team does, and hence I feel it's quite easy to recognize what I'm trying to do here is see product underscore view equals I shouldn't not type it, I should copy. So what is going to happen is at any point, right, I will not be creating a variation of the same event. If you have noticed, while I was trying to do a filter, right, can you see page viewed and page view? See, this is the problem. If I am open or if I am free to create any kind of event name, it basically gives me a problem that I can add a spelling mistake to it. And that can become a little bit of a problem later on. Okay, especially if it is a busy website, because now then you have two different views or two different event names to capture. But instead, you are only using these enums, so there is no possibility of spelling mistakes. Product underscore to cart is, where is it, added to cart? Okay, sorry, right? And then quickly, just last thing that we need to do is change those instances. So page viewed, right? Oops. Tracking event dot, this is what, page viewed. So page view like this, product viewed, done. And then this one is added to cart, so tracking events dot product to cart. And one thing is, if I am not wrong, let's clear this, come over here, let's click on Zebronics. It should raise an event. It did, but it is only page viewed. Hey, that's not the correct one. What happened? It should have been product viewed. In the slug, what am I doing? Product viewed, correct. And inside product viewed, I have product viewed. So then how come it only added page viewed? That is not the correct thing. What mistake have I made? Let me see. Page view, fine. Let's go back to the expensive watch. Product view got called, and I'm sending page view, which is a little weird. I think I'm doing a mistake somewhere. Let's see. First of all, the enum. See, that's the source of problem. I think you guys must have got that earlier and I didn't notice it, but okay, so now this is a problem. And I said all good things about enums, but then if you make a spelling mistake inside the enum itself, then who is going to save you? Right, that's the problem. Okay, so page view, and inside this product view, only one event is added, which is product viewed. But then it is quite possible that you may say, when a product is being viewed, it also means a page view is happening, correct? So I can also try to do something like this, dot page view. And yeah, that's about it. So basic events are getting captured. I have quite a few events over here, 53 to be frank. Okay, that's a good amount of events for me to start making some sense, to get some behavior to it. So let's see what all things we can do. But yes, this is how I decided to use Mixpanel inside my application to get a lot of analytics data. The idea over here is to first start capturing them, get the behavioral traits, and then see if we are able to analyze and come up with those behavioral traits from the data which we have. Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.